name is Khyati. I am 33 years old and I moved to Arlington about 11 years ago to serve with the AmeriCorps. So I was in AmeriCorps Vista for 2 years, 1 year in Arlington and 1 year in DC. And so it's been 11 years now, and since then I've gone to grad school in Arlington at George Mason University. I've gotten married. I met my husband in AmeriCorps, and we recently just bought a house, relatively speaking, in Arlington, a townhouse, a condo, and just moved in actually last week. So after getting married, I've been married now for 4 years, we struggled to decide if we wanted to stay in Arlington or move out into the suburbs of Virginia or Maryland. We both really loved Arlington, but we also knew that it wasn't a place that we could necessarily afford. So we looked for a home for about a year and a half, and we're starting to come to terms with maybe Arlington wouldn't be a place for us. And that was a really hard reality because Arlington has offered us so much, and we've been able to give back so much in Arlington, either through civic engagement or through service and volunteering. I work in affordable housing. My husband is a licensed clinical social worker, and so the idea of being in a place that really gives to its citizens and offers an opportunity for its citizens to give back was really appealing to us. And of course, not to mention, Arlington has great restaurants, it's diverse, it's convenient, lots of public transportation options. There was just so much that Arlington offered that no other place offered, unfortunately. We even looked at Silver Spring because that's where my work was going to be closer to, and we just had a really hard time making the decision to leave Arlington. Fortunately, we found someone that helped us figure out what we could afford, and while it wasn't going to be very big, it was a great starter home for us. And so about a month and a half ago, we put down our offer and it was accepted, which was also a shock because in Arlington things go so quickly, it's so competitive. Homes are only on the market for a day or two, no matter where they are or how old or dilapidated they are. It's just such a high, an area of such high interest and high demand that there isn't enough supply of housing to accommodate all the people that want to live in Arlington. And the most important thing, I think, is that Arlington be a place where everyone, regardless of income or race or ethnicity or age, can live. And we know that the importance of diversity is great, especially when you are trying to create a community that's inclusive, that provides a variety of options. And Arlington does that in so many ways. I think housing is definitely something that Arlington still struggles with, and I'm hoping that we can offer options. It took me 4 years and a year and a half to find a home because my husband and I refused to have a longer commute than we already did. For us, it was a exchange, a quality of living. We wanted to be in a place with good schools, with a variety of options, a place where our children would feel like they belonged, but we didn't want to give that up to have a bigger home. And we didn't want to spend our entire days, and especially in the DC area where traffic can be the worst, in our cars. And so fortunately we were lucky to find a home in South Arlington. South Arlington is actually very different from North Arlington. It's almost as if there were two Arlingtons. South Arlington, I think, can be more diverse, has a higher concentration of folks with lower incomes, represents folks from all over the world, a variety of languages and representations of different countries. And while the public transportation isn't as great in South Arlington as it is in North Arlington, it still offers a lot of the same kinds of character and charm, and maybe in some ways even more than North Arlington. And so we were hesitant when we decided to start renting in South Arlington a few years ago because we wouldn't be near Metro, but there are buses and hopefully there'll be a cable car coming soon that offered a alternative to us. And since then, being in South Arlington for 4 years, we've really loved how charming it is, how you can find mom and pop stores, how you can walk to a lot of places, and it's been a great alternative to North Arlington. There is a reason why why everyone wants to live in Arlington. It's not just the convenience to DC, which is great, but it's also all the amenities that Arlington has to offer. I think the folks who built the city were genius. I think the folks that are running and managing the city now are doing an amazing job as well. And there's so many things that people get. They get a big bang for their buck. So it is expensive, and a lot of people are willing to rent in Arlington just to stay, or to share a one bedroom like I did when I first moved here, or to live in a place where there isn't a metro just to stay in Arlington. People make a lot of sacrifices, and the reason is because they get a lot in return. You get a variety of public transportation options, lots of great restaurants, hiking and trails. You can easily go to Theodore Roosevelt Island, which is not too far away, or a number of parks in the Arlington area. We live near a splash park, so we've taken my nieces and nephews there several times, and going next door to eat frozen yogurt for them living in suburban Louisiana and Georgia. It's amazing. They just loved Arlington, and they thought I was so lucky to be able to live here. And so Arlington offers a lot to its citizens in exchange for what it costs to live here. Now, I think that we can definitely target more of the housing issue and address it, provide a diversity of housing options, both for renters and first-time or low-income homeowners. But also, we can do more about providing people the option to live here and to raise a family here. A lot of young people feel like they can come here when they first get a job and build their wealth and build their education, and then move to wherever state they came from, whatever country they came from, or the suburbs, to be able to raise a family. And it would be a disservice to Arlington if it was only a place for young professionals, if it wasn't a place for our older adults, if it wasn't a place for our diverse populations or for our families with young children. So it's really something that we have to focus on and target on, and hopefully work with young people and who are here somewhat in a transitional way, and the people in Arlington who have lived here for a long time, who have a lot of good historical knowledge and can offer some possible solutions. The other great thing about Arlington is that there is the Arlington Way, and the county board seems really interested in hearing from the people who live in Arlington to make Arlington better. And I'm not sure how many people know about it. I know I get the Arlington alerts and I get some of the emails, and I am somewhat involved, but I think also folks who are renting here may not invest a lot of time and energy in giving back to Arlington or building a community because they're going to leave. And the people who might own homes here, who have been here for a long time, may not invest a lot of time and energy in building community with the new young folks, or with just the new folks, because they're going to leave. And so we really want to try to make Arlington not a place for people to just stop in and leave, but really to come here and build a home and build a family, so that Arlington can be stronger and be the best that it can be, even better than it is today. The other great thing about Arlington that I've mentioned previously, aside from all the amenities, is the number of folks that we have here that live here that represent countries from around the world. So I know in South Arlington there is a significant Ethiopian population, El Salvadorian. We have a lot of Spanish-speaking residents that live just along the corridor of Columbia Pike where I live, and this really contributes to the richness of Arlington. And I'm not sure it's well known. I don't know that Arlington is known to be diverse. I don't know that folks that might live in North Arlington know about all the richness of culture and language and ethnicity that exists in South Arlington. And I also don't think that we have represented those communities well in the voice of who provides feedback to the county, or what services are provided to them. I think the county does do a great job in providing a myriad of social services. I've either worked for a lot of those organizations or volunteered for them, and worked with the populations who have received those services. I used to teach ESL at REAP down at Clarendon, and worked with a lot of those immigrant populations. I used to also volunteer at Harvey Hall and teach a group of women ESL. And so there is a real need there, and a real potential and asset. If we can get those immigrant populations more incorporated into the Arlington community, into the Arlington Way, I think we could really make Arlington even more rich. And I think that's sort of a hidden population. Even though the county is doing a lot of great things for those communities in providing language services and other social services, I know the Arlington Food Bank is a great resource for a lot of our neighbors in Arlington who may struggle to provide food for their families. I think that we could also do more, and part of that is having them at the table and represented in the decision making and what services and amenities are provided to those populations, especially in South Arlington.